I didn't set out to ruin my marriage. I didn't wake up one morning and decide to betray the man who built a life with me. But I did. And now, every quiet moment is a reminder that I traded a lifetime of love for a few fleeting glances from someone who never cared. If you had told me 5 years ago that I would one day become the woman who tore her own family apart, I would have laughed in your face. I would have told you I loved my husband, that I adored our daughter, that I was content, lucky even, and I would have believed it. Every word. But contentment is a strange thing. It can fade so slowly you don't even notice it's gone until you're drowning in something else entirely. And by then it's too late. You've already wrecked everything. My name is Julia Reeves. I'm 36 years old, and I ruined the only life I ever truly wanted. I cheated on my husband, Ethan. I did it more than once. And now, all I have left are the memories of who I used to be, and the wreckage of who I became. Let me tell you everything. Ethan and I met in college. I was 19, wide-eyed and uncertain. He was 22, already working part-time at a design firm while finishing his last semester in architecture. He wasn't flashy. He didn't have that overpowering confidence some guys used to strut around campus like they owned it. But he had a quiet steadiness to him. He listened when I talked, remembered small things I mentioned in passing. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't known I needed. We didn't rush into love. We eased into it like you slip into warm water. Slowly, cautiously, but once you're in, it surrounds you. He was dependable, warm, the kind of man who'd stay late to help you move, who'd remember your mom's birthday, who never raised his voice, even when he was upset. We got married when I was 25. It was a small ceremony, nothing extravagant. Just close friends and family, a little outdoor garden, string lights, and too much wine. I remember thinking how lucky I was to have found someone like him. We weren't fiery, not the kind of couple that couldn't keep their hands off each other, but we were solid, comfortable. We had our daughter Lily 3 years later. Ethan had just been promoted at the firm, and his hours doubled overnight. He tried to be home for bedtime, but most nights it was just me and Lily. I didn't resent him. Not at first. I knew he was doing it for us. To build a future. To make sure we never had to worry. But slowly, I started to feel invisible. It wasn't anything he said or did. It was everything he didn't. He didn't notice when I started losing weight. Or when I cut my hair. He didn't ask about my freelance projects anymore, or how book club went, or if I was sleeping okay. He kissed my forehead more than my lips. We hadn't made love in nearly 5 months. He was tired, I told myself, busy, stressed. He still loved me. He just had too much on his plate. I tried to understand. I really did. But the understanding didn't make the loneliness go away. And then came Ryan. He was a photographer. Divorced, early 40s. Charming in that easy, confident way that made people laugh and lean in without realizing it. I met him at a friend's gallery opening. He complimented my necklace, then made some ridiculous joke about the wine being fermented disappointment in a glass. And I laughed. A real laugh. The kind that felt like it belonged to a different version of me. One I hadn't seen in years. We talked the whole night. Not just surface-level stuff, but real things. Creativity, ambition, regrets, dreams. He listened. Really listened. When he asked if I had kids, I told him about Lily. When he asked about Ethan, I said we were doing fine. Which was a lie, but also not. We were fine. Just not good. He didn't hit on me. Not that night. Not obviously, anyway. But he texted me the next morning. Said it was nice meeting me. Said he hoped to see me again. And I replied. It started innocently enough. Coffee, then lunch. I told Ethan it was networking. Ryan was shooting for a publication and wanted someone to consult on layout. Which wasn't a total lie. I had done design work. I had opinions. I told myself it was professional. But the truth? I craved it. His attention, his validation, the way he looked at me like I was still interesting, still desirable. The first time we kissed, I pulled away. It was after we had dinner together. I lied to my husband, of course. He dropped me off a block away. I told him I couldn't, that I was married, that I wasn't that kind of woman. And for a while, I believed it. 3 weeks later, I met him at his studio. I told Ethan I was taking Lily to my mom's for the day. She begged me to stay for dinner, but I made up some excuse. Said Ethan had a client call. He didn't. Ryan kissed me before I even stepped inside, and I didn't pull away this time. I let him. I let him have me to himself, in ways Ethan hadn't in months. It wasn't love. It wasn't even lust, really. It was escape. A door out of the silence I lived in, a place where I didn't feel invisible. And once that door opened, I didn't close it. We met like that 4 more times. I kept telling myself I'd stop, that I just needed to feel wanted, to feel something, and then I'd walk away. But each time I tried, he'd say something, some comment about how Ethan was lucky to have me, how he didn't understand how a woman like me could ever feel neglected, and I'd cave. I was careful. I deleted messages, took showers immediately after, washed my own clothes separately. I checked Ethan's moods obsessively, trying to gauge if he knew. But he didn't. He didn't suspect a thing. Until the night he did. It was a Wednesday. Lily had a stomach bug and threw up all over the bed. Ethan came home early for once, helped me clean up, changed the sheets, held her while I scrubbed the carpet. And afterward, when she was finally asleep, he just looked at me, really looked, and asked, "Is there something going on?" I froze. I laughed. I said, "What do you mean?" and deflected. He shook his head, said it was nothing, just a feeling. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at him in the dark, wondering how I had ended up here, lying beside a man I'd once promised forever to, after spending the afternoon in someone else's bed. I wanted to stop. I told Ryan we couldn't see each other again. He said he understood, but he didn't mean it. 2 weeks later, he showed up at the park while I was there with Lily. Just appeared. Said he missed me. That he couldn't stop thinking about me. I panicked. Told him to leave. But Lily saw him. Asked who he was. I lied. Said he was a friend. The next morning, Ethan asked why Lily had mentioned a man with a camera at the park. I felt my stomach twist. I said I didn't know. Maybe she was imagining it. He looked at me for a long time and didn't say anything else. 3 days later, I came home to find his car gone. The house was quiet. Lily was at preschool. On the kitchen counter sat his laptop, open, screen glowing. I don't know what made me look. Maybe I already knew. He had found the messages, the ones I thought I'd deleted. Some synced through iCloud. One of them said, "I still think about yesterday, the way you moaned my name." My name was signed beneath it. He hadn't said a word. No confrontation, no yelling. Just gone. There was a note. "I don't know who you are anymore, and I don't know how to come back from this." He filed for separation a week later, took Lily with him to his parents' house out of state. Said he needed time, that she needed stability. I didn't fight it. I couldn't. I had ruined everything. I tried calling, texting, emailing. He replied only to discuss Lily, medical needs, school stuff, always polite, never cruel, but always distant. I begged to talk in person, to explain. He said there was nothing left to explain. It's been 14 months. We're divorced now. He got full custody. I see Lily on scheduled weekends, supervised for now. He says it's for her stability. I don't blame him. I lost my family, my home. the only man who ever truly saw me, even when I forgot how to see him. I tell myself this regret will fade, that one day, the weight in my chest won't feel like it's crushing me, that I'll stop replaying every moment I should have walked away from Ryan, every chance I had to choose differently. But I haven't reached that day yet, and honestly, don't think I ever will.